Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for Mom Mindset Monday. I am Cherry Twitty-Hawkins, your self care coach for moms, helping moms to rediscover the woman within so that we can make ourselves a priority and be amazing women as well as amazing moms. And for those of you who joined me last Monday, I keep wanting to say yesterday for some reason. Last Monday, I talked about how, as parents, we need to learn how to, especially as mothers, we need to learn how to be gentle with ourselves. A lot of us, we are working on gentle parenting and creating that type of relationship with our kids, or we're showing compassion to them and building an intentional relationship with them. We need to be doing the same for ourselves. We need to be showing ourselves self compassion and being gentle with ourselves. So, if you missed that video, depending on where you're watching this, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, wherever the case may be, go back and check out my latest live stream. And I share with you, I think, 5 ways, I want to say 5 or 6 ways that we can be more gentle with ourselves. And I said I was going to come back because God was like, oh, you're not done. I was going to come back and do part two. So today I'm doing part two and I'm digging a little deeper, making it more practical, or step by step, how you can be more gentle with yourself as a mother. So go ahead and get your pen and paper, or get your whatever it is you write in your journal, whatever the case may be, and get ready to write down these steps so that you cannot say, oh, well, she said, but it didn't work. That's because you forgot what I said because you didn't write it down. So get your pen, your pencil, your paper so you can write down these steps. And also, guys, if you are watching in my Facebook community, please give not Facebook, please give StreamYard permission to view your name. Otherwise, if you comment, and I like to put you guys' comments on the screen and say hello, it's just going to say Facebook user. Otherwise, if you give me permission or give StreamYard permission, then it will say your name. And I can say, hi, Tasha. Hi, Tanya. Hey, Keisha. All right. Well, the way that I'm paralleling this, of course, is the steps that I give you is steps that I want to say that I try my best to do with my children as it relates to gentle parenting, as it relates to being intentional about helping them to experience emotional awareness and then dealing with it in a healthy way. Because you're probably like, emotional awareness, duh, they know they're mad, they know they're angry. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. And I've talked about this before. Like sometimes my kids get angry, and we do this ourselves. They get angry and it's, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. Because y'all know as mamas, we don't want to hear that. I don't, I know at least for me. Okay. If you're like me and you don't want to hear your kids saying they're stupid and they're dumb, put a hand up emoji down in the comments. I could put a whole bunch of them because I just can't stand to hear my kids say that. And so I say to them, no, we're going to talk about this more in a second. I say, no, use the correct words. How do you feel? Because you're not stupid, you're not dumb. You just made a mistake or you made a bad decision or, whatever the situation is. What is the correct word? What do you feel? And then sometimes they don't know what that is. They don't know how to express it. So that's why I say we have to be, intentional about building that relationship with our kids and teaching them the correct words. And of course, doing the same for ourselves. Because a lot of us, we weren't taught that growing up. So now, as grown women, we don't know what words to connect with the way that we are feeling. So that's why it's important to have emotional awareness. All right. Now, this is what I want you to start doing with yourself. And if you don't do it with your children, start doing it with your children. When you get irritated, when you get frustrated, when you feel mom guilt, when you feel overwhelmed, there's so many different things, so many different things. The first thing I want you to do, and I put anger or sadness here, but it's whatever, fill in the blank, the emotion. Acknowledge the anger or sadness or guilt or frustration, whatever it is, came from somewhere. Acknowledge it. And the purpose of this is for you to stop, for you to stop instead of continuing to go on, continuing to ignore the feel or try to ignore the feeling because it's still going to be there, or pretending it doesn't exist. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it came from somewhere. In other words, know your trigger. Know what triggers you to be angry, what triggers you to be sad, what triggers you to feel mom guilt. What is that thing? What triggers you to feel mom shame? Know your trigger. So that's the short way to write that down. Number one, know your trigger. Okay? So we can stop ignoring it, stop pushing it. Like I say, pushing it down or pushing it back. Acknowledge it and know it. And one thing you can do after you get off this call is just to think about, even today, think about all the things that you have done today, all the feelings that you have had today, the times you got frustrated, you felt overwhelmed, and write down what caused those things. So leave a little space between number one and number two and write those things down. What was it? What were my triggers? It's good to know your negative triggers as well as your positive ones. Because even if something negative happens, you can say, okay, how am I going to get back to my happy place? What's something that's going to make me happy? And you can write those down as well. Create a separate column and write those things down as well. And number two is accept that the emotion is okay. Accept that it's okay. And some of these things I'm saying, they seem so simple to some people, so common sense. But there was a time when I want to say it had something to do with my marriage. I was mad at my husband or something. And I was just like, I can't believe I feel this way. And my friend was like, if you feel that way, it's okay. Your emotions are valid. And just saying those little things, I was just like, oh wow, it's okay. It's valid. Now, if you're gonna dig deeper, which we're not going to dig too deep, but if it's something like jealousy or something like that, then you have some things to do to overcome that. But it's okay to feel those emotions. Now, what you do next with those, as I said, depends on your situation. So accept that the emotion is okay. If you feel sad, it's okay. If you feel angry, it's okay. As many of us that are Christians, it's okay to be angry, but you're supposed to be angry and what? Sin not. Okay. So the anger is okay. And I think some of us as Christians, we get that twisted up. We're like, oh, we're not supposed to be angry. Oh, we're not supposed to be angry at all God and all these things. Yes, it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to sin in your anger or in your jealousy or whatever it is. So that's number two. Accept that the emotion is okay. And number three, and this is something I try to create with my kids, as I said, paralleling all of these with how you're raising your children. I want them to feel like I'm a safe space for them to come and talk to if they need to cry. My son had a emotional breakdown the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was trying not to cry. I have like this thing I'm battling with. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I wasn't really raised to show my emotions. So sometimes when people show emotion around me, it's kind of like, then I have to what's that? Breaking generational, I don't say curses, traditions, cycles. I have to say, he wants to express his emotions, that's okay. So he talked, he cried, he talked, he cried. He talked about how he had big emotions, but I was his safe space. I did not judge him. I did not tell him, boy, stop all that crying. How many people have heard that? Especially for our boys. Stop all that crying. Put a hand emoji down in the comments. How many of y'all have heard it? So, the same way we want to be that safe space for our children, we need to be the same for ourselves, meaning accepting that the emotion is okay, not beating yourself up for those emotions, not judging yourself and saying, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm a failure because I feel this way. So, be your own sacred, be your own safe space. That's number three. Number four, and this is something again that I have to tell my children. And Again, we talk about feelings, emotions versus how you react. Know that the emotion is normal. It's normal. It's okay to be angry, sad, to feel bad. My daughter was complaining about how the class, if most of the class or a good amount of the class is acting up, everybody gets in trouble. I used to hate that when I was in school. And I was just like, unfortunately, that's how it is a lot of times in school. If most of the class is acting up, the teacher punishes the whole class. And so she's like, because she was acting up here, and I said, ma'am, you need to go sit down till you can get control of your attitude. Because she want to go jump on her computer. And that's when she said all of that. That's when she said, and my teacher and everybody. First, she said, I hate everybody. I said, no, you don't. I said, no, you don't. Well, everybody's acting up, but I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there being quiet, and everybody got in trouble. So it all comes out. And I was like, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry about that. Definitely okay, because I didn't like it back in the day. But it's not okay to take it out on me or your brothers or whomever when you come home. That is not okay. So the same for us. Know that the emotion is normal, but taking it out on others around us, the people we love, our friends, but taking it out on ourselves is not. It's not okay. It is not okay. And then from there, take some time to calm down. Woosah. Even if you can only get yourself 5 minutes in. Remember how at the beginning I talked about knowing your positive triggers and your negative triggers? That's why it's important. When it's time to calm down, what am I going to do to calm down? Am I going to drink a cup of, for me, it's tea. Y'all know those that follow me. I love a warm or hot cup of tea. Am I going to listen to some music? Am I going to do some yoga? Am I going to pray? Because I just can't calm down right now. Lord, help me. Help me. What is it that you're going to do? Take some time to calm down. And then the last thing, find a solution. Find a solution. What are you going to do the next time this happens? What are you going to do the next time your husband get on your nerves, your kids get on your nerves, you get on your own nerves, whatever the case may be. What are you going to do? Seriously. And just to take that further, you can write those down. Like I said, the ones you wrote at the top under number one, then come back and write a number for each one you wrote, and then write a solution. What am I going to do next time I don't get enough sleep? Because that's especially moms with newborns. Oof, what am I going to do? How am I going to get some extra sleep in? How am I going to get some time? I may not be able to sleep, but maybe just to rest my body, rest my mind. What am I going to do the next time something happens outside of my control that just frustrates me and just has me in a funky mood? What am I going to do the next time? And then as you write these things down, come back and look at them. Don't just write it down, close the book, put it in a drawer, and never look at it again. Come back and look at it, even if you need to. If you know you are overwhelmed, if you know you're experiencing mom burnout, you need to look at this thing every day. Seriously, you need to look at this thing every day. Like we will study for and read books and watch videos and ask our friends and all these things how to be a better parent. We need to be doing the same for ourselves. We need to be intentional about, as I said, taking these notes and then coming back to them over and over again because you're changing your habits. You're changing the way that you act. So you're going to need to come back and be repetitive about reading these things so that you can slowly change how you are with yourself, change from being so critical and beating yourself up and feeling so much mom guilt to being gentle with yourself, to showing yourself grace And guys, if you haven't, please share this with your mom friends or tag a mom friend down in the comments because we are going through so much. I was talking to my sister one day, and I pray for my family all the time. But sometimes I'll say, when I'm praying, I'll say, Lord, bless my family. And then sometimes I'll say, Lord, bless my sisters because I don't know what they're going through. Only you know what they're going through. And I told my sister that, and she said, girl, thank you because, girl, I've been going through it. We never know what other people are going through, even those that are closest to you. You don't know what they're going through because they may not tell you everything. So, again, please share this with your mom friends or tag them below in the comments. And if you're watching live, say hello down in the comments. And if you're watching via replay, type hashtag replay down below as well. So, guys, just a quick recap. I'm going to try to make it quick. Ways to be, or I should call this, you can call it a step-by-step guide on how to be gentle with yourself when you're feeling, as I said before, mom guilt, frustration, anger, overwhelm. You choose because we're all going through so many different things. Acknowledge that the emotion, as I said before, I put anger or sadness, but whatever it is for you, acknowledge the emotion came from somewhere. That means stop, acknowledge it. Know your trigger. Know what is this that caused this. Write it down, as I talked about earlier. Accept that the emotion is okay. Stop saying to yourself, oh, I shouldn't be sad about this. Oh, I shouldn't be angry. Oh, I shouldn't be fearful. Whatever the emotion is. Again, there are so many emotions. I talked about in another live when I was talking about emotional awareness, how many words for emotions there are. There are so many emotions. Be your safe place to express your emotions. Meaning, as I previously said, instead of beating yourself up, be that place because we often look for it from somebody else. And when they're not there, then we're frustrated. We have to be that for ourselves. So when you accept that, hey, this emotion is okay, then that opens up for you to express more to yourself. To, as I talked about, writing it down and knowing that it's not shameful to feel those emotions. And if you're just joining in, check out the replay because I explained being a parent, how I was a safe space for my son and how you can do that for yourself as well. Know that the emotion is normal, yes, but taking it out on others or on yourself is not. That's how we can get rid of a lot of mom guilt. We feel I'm big on TikTok, you guys know. And a lot of moms are like, "Oh, I just feel so bad when I want to spend time by myself, or if I do, I feel guilty." We need to stop that. We need to stop that. It's okay to feel a little guilt, but when you let that stop you from doing it again in the future, then that's where it's like, okay. Or if you're angry and then you take it out on your kids when whether it has something to do with them or not, that's not okay. So again, whether we're taking out on others or ourselves, that action is not okay. The emotion is. Take time to calm down. Woosah, pray, go outside and walk, enjoy yourself a nice cup of tea, whatever it is. Read a book. I love to read. Whatever it is, take some time to calm down so that with a clear head, you can find a solution. You can say to yourself the things you wrote down from number one, your triggers. What am I going to do the next time this, or this happens? How am I going to be gentle with myself? How am I going to show myself grace? Okay. So I try to make that short and sweet, that recap. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you found this helpful, please share this with your mom friends or tag them below down in the comments. And if you need specialized assistance with self-care through personal awareness, self-compassion, and self-confidence, please schedule a call with me. Depending on where you're watching, the link should be up above or down below. You can click and schedule a 30-minute call with me, and we'll dig deep into how I can help you along your journey. And once again, I am Cherry Twitty-Hawkins, your self-care coach for moms, helping moms to rediscover the woman within and make herself, yourself, ourselves a priority by practicing self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-care. All right, guys, well, you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are watching in the world. And mamas, remember, you matter too. God bless.